Super excited to see you all today. Can all of you type in the chat one word to describe how your experience of life is right now? Yeah, there are 2 pages. So I'm just looking at all the faces right now. Wonderful. Ah, beautiful. Yes. Yeah, thank you for the honesty. Yeah, struggle, growing, gratitude, good, fabulous, exciting, blurry, challenging, abundant, fuzzy, cool, neutral, with ease, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for those who have been responding to my questions on the community in the last week. So my name is Sumit, and I want to talk to you about getting to 35K, 4 truths that nobody will tell you about. And these are my own truths, not like the truths. They are my experiences, lessons from my journey. I have been a full-time coach now for the 4 years, running into the 5th year. So I'm super excited for that journey. And before I do that, I want to acknowledge all of you for being here on time, for being here with your full presence. And I want to invite your best listening to this conversation. As much as anything I will share, today's conversation is going to happen in your listening, not in my speaking. And I want you to notice what goes on in your listening. Some of the things that I share might be unconventional, even provocative. And I want you to notice what goes on in your listening, as that is what like your session is, not what I am speaking. And if there is anything which doesn't make sense, where you have a question, let's bring it up, right? I want to make this as much of a conversation as possible rather than a monologue. And I will share a lot of stories also from my coaching experiences. But I want to make it as much of a conversation. And if you ask a question, you're not just helping yourself, you're also helping everybody else, right? So your question is a gift to everybody and also a gift to me. So please know that I welcome your questions. And my intention is not to get to the end of what I plan, right? This is not school. Coaching, growing a coaching business doesn't work like school. So it's not about getting to the 4 points that I have. It's about adding as much value for each one of you as possible. And the juice of that lies in your questions, right? And there's nothing you cannot ask. There's nothing you cannot share. I might choose or not choose how to respond to that, but there's nothing which is off limits. So everybody ready? Yeah. So my first truth about getting to 35K is that you can get to 35K with one client in a single conversation. Let me just repeat it again. You can get to 35K with one client in a single conversation. And I want to share a story. So in my first year, when I started coaching, I had a client who was paying me $20 a session. So they signed up for 20 sessions. So they were paying me $400 in a full year. At the same time, I had a client who was paying me 28,000 for a full year of work. And I just want to share this because how many times do we think that there is an order to growth, to success? And you can just do whatever you want, right? So just want to share that story. And that was not planned. That just happened in a conversation. I felt that was the right investment for that person. The numbers came out of my mouth and they said yes. And it took me another 2 years to get another client at that level. But I just want to share that whatever path that you have in your mind about getting to 35K, it can actually be a lot more faster, easier, and simpler. And I remember another story. I once was speaking to an experienced coach, right? And after this story, I will open it up for a bit of Q&A. I was speaking to an experienced coach whom I held in very high regard. And this guy asked me, how much are you charging? And at that time, my like standard rate was 7,000 in a year, which translates to somewhere like to 200 a dollar, 200 a session. And this person said, that's quite a good number. And for a long time, I made that my upper limit because it was a good number for that apparently successful, experienced coach. What I did in that moment was I gave my authority away. I gave my authority away to make my own decisions very unconsciously, but I gave that authority away to experience, to more knowledge, to more even maybe age. And I just wanted to share these two stories to highlight that you can get to 35K with one client in a single conversation. And that conversation might be today, might be tomorrow, or might be whenever you choose. So how is this landing? Questions, thoughts, raise your hands, put it in the chat. Let's have some fun with this. James.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. Can you expand a little bit on what you mean by giving your authority away?
Yeah. So in the matters of your own life, when it comes to my choices, my emotions, and setting the rules of the game, the standards of the game that I am playing, right? And I see my business as an extension of a game that I am playing. I have complete choice. I have complete authority in what I do, how I do it, and how I not do it, right? So that's what I mean by authority. And I only have authority, or I only have choice where I have authority. So I can move my hand, but I cannot move your hand. But if I say it is not social to move my hand all over the place in this meeting, then I'm giving my authority away.
Okay, got it.
Right. So in terms of prices, somebody said something, that's a good number. That's a good number for a new coach. And immediately that set my upper limit. Right. Until much later when I spoke of a larger number and I saw how much open people were to talking about it. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful question. Yeah. And a prompt, right? A prompt for everybody. And again, whenever I am speaking to one person, I want all of you to listen like I am talking to you one on one. That's how you'll take the most out of it. Right. So from what you shared, James, wonderful question. A prompt for all of you. Where else and to whom are you giving away authority away in your own life? It could be in your personal life. It could be in anything that matters to you. It could be in your business. It could be in your health. It could be in your hobbies. It could be anything that speaks dearly to you. Where else are you giving away your authority? And just getting aware of that is the first step toward actually reclaiming your authority.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Yeah.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, James. Dakota.
Hello. I love it. Right before this call, I had signed my third client for my full rate. And I love what you're saying. And part of me is like, what, what am I looking for to be able to know, to be able to ask the 28? Like, I think it's trusting myself, but I don't know. Is there anything that's rattling around your brain when I say that?
I think whatever that you're looking for is a trap to give you permission to ask
Mm,
for the 35K, right?
mm,
And I want you to notice that. That's
mm.
it. That's what's happening in your listening, and that will keep you away And just because you use a number, 35K or 45K, doesn't mean you have to start working with somebody at that level, right? Right now, another thing, right? To piggyback to authority, once I decide that I want to work with somebody, it's almost impossible for them to say no now after 4 years. Once I decide that I want to work with you, the numbers just become the numbers, right? If I have to get to you, I can run, I can walk, I can take a plane, and that might be the fourth option that comes to my mind or your mind. But if I decide to work with you and serve you, then nothing can come in the way.
Damn, that was sick. Nice. Holy, the plane, the walking. Ooh, that was a good one. I'm writing that down. That's great. Thank you. That was
Yeah,
good.
thank you,
Ooh.
Dakota. And the second truth will help you there with your question. I'll come back to that. Yeah, Yakov, if I'm pronouncing your name right.
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sumit.
yeah.
It's my first time here, and I'm really grateful to be here, and for the beginning has been so great, what you've shared so far. Can I ask any question or question related to what you've shared? A question about
Yes,
prices in general?
yes, please
Um,
do.
yeah, I have a question. There seemed to be something holding me back from getting away from this thinking in terms of charging per session. So even in my thinking, when I talk to a client, I break it down into package number of sessions, and I think about the price per session. But in the example you shared, when you said to client 27,000, it's a completely different way to think about it. And I think it's holding me back because it makes me think that I'm charging for my time, and I want to get away from it, but sometimes holding me back, it seems. Is there any distinction or any something you would share that would be helpful to part from that kind of thinking? Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah. So what I love most about what you are sharing is you're noticing that you're thinking. Yeah. You're not saying this is who I am, this is how I work. You're saying I am thinking, right? And you are aware that you are thinking. Okay. So think something else.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So the power in the way you phrased your question is that you are the thinker. You are not what is being thought. Right. And if you are the thinker and you see something is not working for you, or you just want to experiment with something new, you can think something else. Right. Whatever we call reality is what one person thinks and others agree to that. That's it. There is no such thing as reality. So what you are thinking, if it doesn't work for you, or if you want to play around with that, think something else. That's in your choice. That's in your authority. And it's not right and wrong, correct and incorrect. Will I make a mistake? You can think something else tomorrow. Right? I will tell you, right? I have made multiple six-figure offers. None of them have been accepted. And I continue to make them. And I continue to make 40K offers and 60K offers and 80K offers. Because there was a time when, as I said, right, I set an upper limit. This is what coaches do. This is what coaches charge. This is how it works. Even in time, right? Last year, I upgraded a client to a 50% higher rate, and I reduced my time commitment with them by maybe 30%. And that would have been impossible to me before that, because that would be wrong, unethical, or something like that. So once again, right, you are the one who is thinking. You are not the thought itself. Even like all of these thoughts which hold you back, or which I might be telling you. So I posted a question, right, in the community, that when do you expect to cross 35K? Most of the answers are 6 months and beyond. Now, if I ask you why anything that you respond or think It's not who you are. It is what you're thinking. Once you get that, you have a choice into like when is it that you want to cross 35K. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Akov. Rossi, you are muted.
Apologies for that. Hi, Sumit. Thank you. Um, my so just to give you a little bit of background, I'm very new into the coaching game. Haven't got any paying clients yet, so I'm really, really sort of fresh in the market. And my question is, it's also around pricing. It's I want to charge my prices, and and again, I think this is around the thought that I have around this, but I want to charge my prices, but at the same time, my priority right now is to fill my practice. That's what I really want to do. Um, and I want to get the reps in, just coach, coach, coach. And the money is important, but I feel like right now the reps are more important than the money. And it's understanding what level I should what level I should be at financially to offer it out where I can still earn, but also make it viable package for people where I can still coach. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the level that you want to be at in terms of like the revenue from your practice?
What, in my first year?
Yeah.
Or in my first year, I would love to be at 45, 50K.
Okay. Then do both. Right. So you said, I would love to charge more. I would also love to get my reps in and have a full practice. So why does it have to be one or the other?
I feel like you're making it sound a lot easier than it actually is, right? It's like there's the amount of people that I speak to, and maybe I should be speaking to more people, but the guys that I'm speaking to right now, they just don't have people I'm speaking, they don't have the budget for it. And, I've been speaking to coaches and they say, the people that you think do have money don't end up going with you, and the people that you think don't have money do end up going with you. And I'm doing a bit of both. And at the moment, I'm not getting anyone. So it's like, at what point what tactics do I then go down when I'm exhausting what I feel is everything that I can do right now?
Yeah. So let me talk about the second truth, right? I think that will speak very nicely to it.
Okay.
Right. And then I'll come back to you. The second truth is you already have everything you need to get to 35K and beyond that. And this is more than just coaching. Right. When I look at your faces, when some of you shared your reasons for being a coach, I think there's something pure heart there. There's something golden there. Right. And I want you to see that as well. And the story that goes with it was, right, one of my coaches said that you can keep on learning, you can keep on trying different tactics, but you have everything that you need to fulfill all of your dreams. You can go after anything you want, and you have everything you need for any of that. That doesn't stops you from learning, but don't make learning a crutch. I'll give you multiple examples of what you were sharing, similar thinking. Like for a long time, I said that once I reach here, then I will coach certain kind of people. Right? I would actually not see CEOs in front of me or not have conversations with front of me because I would say next year. And then there was a time when I said I coach CEOs. That's it. Right. So coming back to your question, coming back to what you observed, I would simply say focus on what you want, which you clarified, right? A full practice, getting your reps in, getting to 45K, 40K, 45K, and then simply take action towards that. Anything else in the way is simply that, in the way.
Okay, so just keep calm and carry on.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
there is no right tactic. There is no wrong tactic. You can try 10 tactics and you can learn and you can create your own unique tactic. But you have everything. There is nothing that is missing right now in you and in each one of you to get to 35K, 45K, or 100K. Like as a human being, you have everything that you need.
Thought you were going to say take a magic pill and then they'd all land on your door. Thought that's what you were going to say.
They don't have to land on your door. You can go to their doors. But I will tell you, right, as a result of when I said I coach CEOs, since then to today, I've spoken to more than 200 CEOs. Right? Around 8 or 9 of them are my clients right now. But if you tell me where have I learned more and what has contributed to growing my practice more, it is speaking to those 200 CEOs and to those 191 who have not become my clients. But I would not have never started that process unless I said I coach CEOs without being ready, without waiting for somebody else's approval, without having the right tactics. Like I was worrying about my tactics just 2 hours now. Just 2 hours earlier than meeting all of you. I was really like putting myself under stress and anxiety by the same question. Like, what if I'm doing something wrong? What if this is not the right way? What if 2 months down the line I realize like I just wasted these 2 months? And I simply saw that, like I was thinking all of that. So let's just focus on what's next, what's in front of me. And right now that person is you.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
That really resonated. The
Yes.
200 CEOs, the 9 clients, that really resonated. It's like you just keep on doing it, not letting anything stop you.
Yeah.
Just keep on going.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there is so much to learn, which is never found or which can never be found in any tactic, any book, anything structured, which you will learn when you speak to 200 CEOs or 200 anybody's, right? That you are holding yourself back for.
Amazing.
Thank
you,
you.
Sumit.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Rossi. Mason.
Thank you so much. This is so powerful. I appreciate you sharing. My question is, yeah, I agree 100% what you shared so far. And I really like that, you know, when will you cross the 35K? The answer is my decision. And I feel such a strong resistance to that because in reality, I have so many evidence that I cannot do that. So, well, there is a moment I really believe that's true. And when I meet like clients who really doesn't have money, cannot afford, or things like that, it's just so easy to bring me down and go into the negative thought more than like, yeah, well, I can do it, or that's true, it's my decision. So I want you to share if you have any practice when you go down to go up quickly.
Can you repeat that last part? Can you when you go down to?
Yeah, when you feel like very down, when you feel like you cannot believe I can do that, is there anything you can practice? Yeah, putting you up to that place. Yeah.
Absolutely, right. So first of all, and you said it very beautifully, right? When you are bringing yourself down or when you're going down, right? So just see your power there. Just see how much power that you have right there. When you say that I have all the reasons why this will be difficult, that is power. You're using it in a probably in not the most helpful way for yourself. But that is your power. Nobody else is doing that to you. And simply acknowledging that is the first step. Simply acknowledging that is the first step. And you can use the same power different way, in a different way. Yeah, and coaching is not like a structural mechanical thing. That if I have to hit 10 nails in the wall, I will have to actually take a hammer and hit it at least 10 times. Otherwise, the 10 nails will not go in. Coaching is not like that, right? Coaching, like somebody might give you a strategy, but there might be a way you can hit 10 nails while sleeping, right? You might record a video, and tomorrow morning, 5 people might want to speak with you because of that video. So coaching is not something purely mechanical. Like if you have to travel 5 kilometers, there will be a time when you will be 4, 3, 2, 1, irrespective of whether you walk or take a plane. It's mechanical. Coaching is not like that. Business growth, success in life is not like that, except when we think so.
It's basically my thought.
Yeah, and that is your power. It's not just your thinking. It's actually an acknowledgement of your own power.
Mm.
Yeah, does that make
I
sense?
get that. Yes, I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Thank
yeah.
thank
And
you.
we might do a practice before we end today, to answer your the practice question also.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yeah, thank you. Monil.
Wow, I'm actually scared about asking this question. So thank you. Firstly, I'm new. Thank you for having me into this, and it's lovely to meet you all, and I look forward to connecting. So my story is similar to Rossi's, but slightly different in that I'm in a corporate that pays me 6 figures. And while I was doing coaching training, I wasn't really having conversations and creating clients. And then I got distracted into this thread of, oh, I need to be on LinkedIn, I need to be on social media, I need to be sharing content and all this sort of stuff. And actually, the epiphany that I've had, and this isn't new knowledge because I've been using learning as a crutch, but the thing is to have conversations. So I'm now at a point where I'm going to create a list of 50 people who I, to your point, Sumit, want to work with. And I'm going to reach out to them and have conversations. I'm in the process of getting divorced, and I have 2 young girls that I co-parent, and I have to pay their school fees because they go to a private school. They don't go to a normal school, and other bills and stuff to pay. So I have this belief that while, when I read, you already have what you have to get 35K and beyond, or it doesn't have to be hard to make your first 35K. I have a limiting belief that says to me, and I'm pretty good at coaching myself normally, that for some reason I can't imagine a reality where that 6 figures is coming solely from coaching versus my corporate. And I must say here, I hate my corporate job. It saps my energy. It's not what I want to do, right? But it affords my children a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I kind of get a bit lost and start overthinking.
So what is your question?
My question is, that was the question. Do I trust and just go all in? Or do I kind of do this, having the conversations and building on the side? And it's not a question for anyone to answer, I guess, but it would just be good to get a point of view. I think ultimately the decision is mine. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the good thing is that you get to choose. So I did it the other way, right? I jumped in. I had a 6-figure salary and I jumped in with 0.
You just left.
I just left. I wouldn't recommend that. I probably wouldn't do that again myself. But that's what I did. And given your situation, given you what you shared, I don't think that's the only path that you have, right? I will give you something else, Monil, right? Not just about raising your fees or getting 200K, but also about getting better as a coach. which is the first thing that you need to actually get to 100K or whatever number. Whatever your challenges are, right, including at work, what you said, use that as a learning to become a better coach. Right. So there is one comment which David shared in the chat, right? The best way to get better at coaching is by coaching. And I want you to see that there is no difference between a coaching conversation. Just going back to authority and choice, there is no difference between a coaching conversation and any other conversation until I say so. Right. So any conversation that I am having for the last 3 years, it actually has been a coaching conversation helping me to grow better as a coach, also as a human being, as a leader. And I have to ask one simple question, which is asking for permission in some way. And the conversation becomes a coaching conversation. So all of the so-called sales conversations, I'm actually coaching there. Right. And that coaching looks very different from like when somebody is in a paid container with me. But coaching, nothing is not coaching. If you hate your job, that's a wonderful place to start practicing, to start serving those people, start loving those people, start getting curious, asking questions, and trying to see like how can I contribute? Like how can I learn here? And that will build the muscle of slowly building up a practice on the side. And then you can choose to leave at 0, 30K, 50K, 80K, or 200K. That's your choice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do. But I think full transparency, I think the consistency is not there because the nature of my job is I have to give answers and I try and weave curiosity into it. But I'm an IC, I'm not a leader of a team. So you end up doing stuff and answering questions and stuff. So I love that. It's reprogramming my muscle.
Yeah. And there are 2 words, right? Can I share something else?
Yes, please do.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are 2 words I noticed, right? And did you notice I just asked your permission?
I noticed you asked permission. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So there are 2 words that I noticed, right? One is 50. You said 50, make a list of 50 people. And just now you said try.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say stop trying and then focus on the one person in front of you. Forget about the 50. Focus on the one person in front of you and the next one and the next one. That's all you need. And then stop trying when you are in front of that person. Go all in.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Yes. Lisa.
Hi there. Thank you for this. This is really helpful to me. And I'm going to try not to make a story around this, but I have a call coming up today that I am super nervous about. And I feel like I'm really ruminating and my mind's going blank. Just to give you a little background, I come from corporate sales. I used to lead teams in sales of tech and services-based businesses. Took some time off. Now want to, work again or serve again, but not in the capacity of working for a corporation full time. I want to do coaching. Well, at first it was consulting. Then I realized I believe it's more of a coaching role. So my call is with he's like head of operations, kind of a CRO role. And we had talked about 6 months ago and they wanted to hire me. But I did not want to take that position because I don't want to go back into corporate full-time sales. And so I reached out, I told him, no, I'm kind of more of a consultant right now. They found their person, which was, good luck. Well, I reached out to him and he wants to have a call today. And now I'm thinking, and I just want to talk about how things are going. How's their pipeline? Are they on track to hit their year? What are their challenges? And now I'm thinking, like, how am I going to coach this person? Like, how am I going to get him to realize the value of coaching and how I could help coach the reps, coach him? Who do I want to coach? So I feel like I woke up last night completely drawing a blank on how this initial conversation is going to go. And I realize when I reach out to people like this that I have connections with, they're wanting to have calls with me. And now I'm scared. When it comes to coaching, I do have a couple paying clients and some kind of, coaching exchange clients. When it's just a single entrepreneur and I'm practicing or a solopreneur, I feel like I'm rocking it. This is like a heavy hitter with a huge budget.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like, I don't know, I feel insecure. Like all the stuff I've been working on just went out the window.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that, right? I have been there. Yeah. What is your intention of this call? What is it that you would like at the end of the call?
Well, my first intention is I'm just curious on how they're doing because we did kind of spend some time together. And um, I'm curious what his challenges are now and if he's been able to overcome those challenges. And then I'm also curious if there's a way I could serve them. And yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if my hope isn't, you know, that there could be an opportunity here for me to serve him and serve the reps and help, them hit their goal at the end of the year. We're almost in month 8 on a calendar year. We don't have a lot of time left.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So how about you simply share that at the beginning of a call? Like I'm
just kind of
curious.
yeah, okay, go ahead.
I am curious. I am a bit nervous. We are almost 8 months into the year.
Mhm.
I'm quite curious what's happening there. I know I can help you. That's it.
Should I say I know I can help you or see if I can help you?
That's even better, right? Bring your curiosity in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious.
If it's like creating your tech stack and they're,
Yeah,
having process issues, that's not my,
yeah,
if
yeah.
you're
So
having a problem connecting with clients and your reps are, you know, having issues, I'm good with relational and dealing with customers more than, let's find out what our tech stack is. That I can do that, but I'm not interested.
yeah. Just that. Just that. Yeah. The
Yeah.
best way to calm your nerves is number one, curiosity, and the
Okay.
number two, acknowledge your nerves publicly. Right. So start the conversation. I'm feeling a bit nervous. Right. I have my mind racing up in multiple directions. And then say, I'm here to serve you. I'm curious about how can I serve you. Right. And depending on how the conversation goes, and let's talk about the third truth, right? Because this will speak very nicely to this. The reasons that you think you are not a good coach are the reasons you can be a great one.
Mhm.
The reasons that you think you are not a good coach are the reasons you can be a great one. So for your conversation, depending on how the conversation flows, and again, this is not a strategy, you can even say, like, in the beginning of this conversation, I was feeling nervous. I was creating you as a heavy hitter. Where else do you do that? Do you see that for yourself as well? Could your team be doing that? You can turn that into a learning moment because you saw something about yourself. And I will tell you every coaching conversation that I go into, everything that I think that I'm not a good coach or I'm not the best person, I share that. And then I create a question out of it, I create a prompt out of it to help them see the same for them.
Mhm.
And more than the coaching, it also helps builds a connection, a relationship with you because they see you as a human,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And as
And
new coaches, you would not really believe it, but like clients and prospective clients are intimidated by us.
yeah. And I do have this other fear, and my fear is he doesn't get the whole coaching model. He's like, oh, I want you in here. We want to put you on the payroll. We're creating a position. What do you want to do? He's thinking in those terms. He's kind of more open to consulting,
Yeah,
but I could be making this up in my mind too, because I don't think we've ever had this specific conversation on how he feels about the coaching model and whether he buys into that. I don't know. Because some of these corporations, this is kind of new. Some do it and they're progressive and they are open to coaches. And
yeah,
some of them don't see the value unless you're in there doing the work and they have you under their thumb on payroll.
absolutely. And
How do you
can I
get
can
them to
yeah,
value
yeah.
that? How do you get them
Can
to
yeah.
value, if
Can
that
you
makes sense?
can I share something else that I am noticing here?
Yeah.
Right. So there is trust, there is curiosity right now in this conversation with you, but there
Yeah.
is also fear, right? None of them is right and wrong, good or bad, should be there, should not be there. There are both.
Hmm.
Can you see that? Right. I would simply say, trust your curiosity and not your fear. And that becomes a moment to moment choice. Right. And how do I get them to see their value is something which you do not have authority and choice. No matter how good a coach you are, whether somebody sees your value or not is always their choice. And you cannot acknowledge that you have full choice in your life unless you start giving other people full choice in the matters of their own lives. Right? Both goes together.
You mean I can't control how people think?
You can try that.
Bummer. No, you're okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
right. You know what? I'm jumping ahead. I'm creating this story.
yes,
And yeah,
yes,
it's like everything I've been working on just went completely out of the window this morning. But yeah, because I'm
yeah.
kind of
So
nervous. I'm nervous that he's coming back around. It's an opportunity, but I just need to just get
yeah,
curious and not be
yeah,
attached to the outcome and just, I mean, I think he sees the value in me because he's wanting to connect,
yes. So I
or else
will
he's going to be
share.
wasting
Yeah,
his time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I will share another story to go with that. But thank you for your question. And I will
Okay.
simply say, right, the more you speak about your nervousness increase. The more you hide your nervousness, it actually increases. Right. So you're laughing right now because you're talking about your nervousness. And when you're not talking about it, you will get this, like you will get tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do what you're doing now. That's wonderful. That's all you need. Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to share a story. Late last year, I was doing a 3-day retreat. Right. And I do that twice a year or thrice a year. And I was feeling particularly nervous about it. So it was a 3-day retreat. And I started the first day by sharing with everybody that if all of you walk out at lunch on the first day, blaming me and saying that this is the worst program retreat that they have ever been on, I am more than okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. That's how I started the first day of the retreat. And that was the reason that the retreat was such a great one, because that totally freed me up from any trying to prove myself, any trying to help them see the value in what I'm doing. And I learned something from my coach, right? So that the only way through is through. The only way through is through. So if you're fearing something, either you can hide it, even if you close your eyes, right? The danger doesn't go away, or you can bring it to now, right? That if this happens now, I am totally okay. And then if you can speak it out publicly, and I can tell you, right, the participants' faces were like totally shocked when I said that. But at the end of the 3 days, they could all see that where are they trying to avoid failure or avoid fear, and in fact, creating the opposite of what they want in their life. Right. So once again, right, your biggest traumas, setbacks, curses, obstacles can be your biggest gifts. So any reason that you think you're not a good coach, whatever happened to you, is actually the reason you can be a great one. And if you start to look at life that way, nothing can go wrong, nothing can go against you. So once again, questions. David.
Yeah, so more a comment, if you don't mind, than a question.
Sure.
I just wanted to say, to me, this is absolute gold. What you're sharing is absolutely amazing, and part of it is because it's something that I've just learned to apply. Um, I started to type into the chat the idea of letting go of the result, because I think very often we get trapped into saying, okay, this is what I want from this conversation or this, and it affects then the way that we respond to people. And I have just started to that point of saying, you know what, I'm going to do this because I believe it's right, not because I care about how the person is going to respond to it. And it is transformed, okay, the way that I work with people. And I just wanted to just say that what you're saying is so amazing. It resonates with me 100% because it's gone for me from at some it's counterproductive or intuitive. Okay, if you leave in the middle of my seminar, I'm okay with that. It's completely counterintuitive, but then it frees you up to be yourself, to ask what you want, to present without fear of consequence. And
Absolutely.
I think that's where the magic
Yeah.
happens. So I want to
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. And I wanted to just endorse what you're saying by saying in my practical experience, what you're saying is absolutely
Yeah.
accurate.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So for everybody else, right, a question for you. Who else can see David's eyes were lighting up when he was speaking? Who else could see? Right? His voice was very alive, this was no strategy, no tactic. This was real. If all of you can bring this to your conversations with your clients, that will give you more than any strategy, any tactic, any dealing with fear, any dealing with anxiety will bring you. If you can just be yourself, like David was sharing, like his whole face was lit up. That is enrolling. Right? Just show people that. Give people an experience of working with you. And just because it is counterintuitive, it is the reason most people hide it. And that is your value as a coach if you can be open about it. Wonderful. Thank you, David. So I will go to the fourth truth, and then I'll continue with the Q&As. And this might sound a bit counterintuitive to the other ones, but my fourth truth is lead first, coach second. Lead first, coach second. See, we live in a world, whether coaching or not, where people do not have good leadership. where people do not have role models. At the same time, people are also hungry to be led. So, and as coaches, as some of you, like Heather, Michael, some of you were sharing in the chat, you know your why. You know why you are a coach. You know, like, why do you want to take, like, leave a six-figure salary to do that? So start from there. Know your why and own your why. Do not allow anybody, certainly not include not money or having an X number of clients, to take you away from fully owning who you are, where you are in that in the room with the person in front of you, and why you are here. Have anybody of you seen the movie King's Speech? Right. So there is a scene there in which um, the coach invites the king, the speech coach invites the king to his small apartment, and the king says no, like, come to my room, my palace. And the speech coach says, my castle, my rules. Right? Just because I am a coach doesn't mean I will go wherever you want me to go. This is my expertise. This is what I do. If you have to learn, come to my apartment. Otherwise, you might be the king. Wonderful. Right? That's leadership. That's leadership. And no matter where you are, you can just take this to the next level. Right? So Rossi and anybody else with questions, and we'll continue this dialogue.
I remembered to unmute myself this time. I wanted to ask, what is, so my question isn't about the leadership. Can I ask you something else? Is that okay?
Okay, go ahead.
It's around what your process is in terms of from start to finish in terms of signing up a new client. Do you how many do you have any sessions that you give for free, so to speak? Not free because I know you're getting something out of it as well, I'm sure, but do you give sessions to start off with, or how many do you do, or do you not do anything like that? Like, what is your process if you have a structure itself, or do you just kind of wing it and just see how it goes? And does it vary if you're working with corporates or individuals?
So there is no one answer to that question.
Okay.
But there was a session by Ian Maxwell earlier. He shared a bit about his process. And then
Yep.
in the coaches operating system, there are other videos, resources. I can point you there about like what Townsend has shared. So my process has been very aligned with that.
Okay.
But at the same time, it is evolving and it is different given the person who is in front of me. Right. So there is no one answer to that. And like the whole process is to, like, we don't have enough time to talk about it today.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Who else? Dakota.
This was more of a statement about the last thing that you said, or the reason that you think you're a bad coach is really you're a great coach. I
Yeah.
signed my my third client ever, and then I was looking at the dates, and I realized that I forgot to send an invoice to my other existing client, and I was like, "You son of a you've done this twice. You're a terrible coach." And there was this whole world around finances and like how I don't have my poop in a group. And this is going to be, I'm creating now that this is going to be an incredible coaching experience or opportunity for this other client on my vulnerability around not sending them an invoice in time when I said that I would.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you know the biggest problem which stops people from achieving what they want? What is that?
Um, uh, Stops them from achieving what they want. Lack of action.
Yeah. So knowing what to do, but not doing that.
Mm.
So your story can be such as humbling. You can make it into a distinction.
Mm.
Like you can give a master class on how to keep on worrying about money but never charge people money, and make it a funny, humorous, humbling experience, because no matter who is in front of you, they are doing that somewhere in their life.
Mm.
And sometimes humor can crack open something which coaching cannot, or coaching can take a long time to.
What's showing up for me is the idea that I've created with her that if one of us does not uh if we do not honor an agreement, then at that point our coaching agreement will stop, and then we can either choose to work together or not. And then at that point we create a new agreement. And I find that it feels like I'm not committed enough. And I know that that's not true, but that's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so just play with that, right? And any agreement that you have is also open to change.
Hmm.
You can create something new any moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Monil, I also see a few questions in the chat.
Yeah, it's not for me. I'm raising my hand for Jessica because she can't do the raise hand
Okay.
thing.
Okay. Got it. Jessica, Jamie, can you bring her on? Yes. Wonderful.
Hi.
Thank you, Monil. Yes. So you can ask
Yes.
your question.
I didn't know how to find the emoji. My question that I'm finding in my business at the moment is more around how do I get in front of and get connected with more people that I feel like are more in aligned with what I have to offer. Because I wouldn't say that I'm a new coach. I've been doing this for a while now. And the nature of my business is that it's been very up and down. So I've had really good months and then quite low months. And I'm just finding that often I get, you know, people that are on the lower end, students and things like that, that come to me. And I want to connect with more people that I feel like could afford what I want to charge for my service.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was one of the questions that I was asking 2 hours ago, which was putting me into anxiety. And you have no idea how many times I have asked this question. But I think this goes in very nicely with lead first, coach second. And I will share a distinction between being a buyer and a seller. Right? When you're selling something, you're kind of like looking for whoever comes in to buy. When you want to buy something, you actually choose. You pick and choose and select. And a key part of leadership when it comes to the sales process is stop being a seller, start being a buyer. Start to buy opportunities with your clients that you want to be a part of. Right. So I have nothing to sell right now. That's how actually I speak. There might be a money exchange when I work, but I am looking to buy opportunities to which I want to be engaged for the next 1 year or 2 years, as long as I work with somebody. So that question, right? How do I find people doesn't even arise, first of all, especially certainly not in a disempowering way. And then if I'm a buyer, then I can go and look at 100 things and then choose what I want. Without, like, I don't even offer my services now unless I select, like, this is the person I want to work with. So I speak with a lot of people every day who could all become potential clients. But I'm looking, is the journey they are on worth to create a partnership? And only then the question of offering something comes along. So I'm not sure if that helps or not. But for me, the mindset shift from selling something to being a buyer made a huge difference. And I stop people, like I stop myself and I stop other people when I sense any selling energy. Right? When people stop me and say, what do you want? When people stop me and say, how much do you charge? That's the selling energy. People have that energy. I have that energy. I break that immediately. I have nothing to sell you. Sometimes I say, I haven't even decided if I want to work with you. Or I ask them a question, okay, why do you think I should work with you? Okay, if you want to know the price, why do you think I should work with you? Right? So be a buyer. You, like to the earlier phrase, heavy hitter. Nobody else is a heavy hitter. You are. Right? If you know your why, if you own your why, then you are the heavy hitter, and then you are looking for the right opportunity, the right person to actually play your best game.
Yeah. I like that question that you asked around, well, the thing that you said around, I haven't even realized, I don't even know if I want to work with you yet. That's really cool. I haven't heard that before.
Yeah. And I mean it quite literally, right? All they have is money, right? You can get money from any client or from a job. What you have is uniquely yours. As coaches, what we have is uniquely ours. They can never get that from anybody else. All they have is money. You can get money from any client or from a job.
Yeah.
What you have, right? What each one of has is truly unique. So you are the buyer. Literally, you are the buyer. You have something unique, not them. Like in a coaching engagement, all that you want is their time, commitment, and money. And tangibly, a lot of this tension is coming from money. Right? And money, everybody has money. And you are simply choosing which money should I take? Whose money should I take? Who is the best opportunity for me? And if you have that mindset, you can 1, 2, 3, you can have 10 people in a single hour. You can make 10 phone calls and you will not even blink an eye. Yeah. And that's leadership for service, right? You're not leaning into that leadership because you want money, because you want to serve, because you want to help them, because you want to share your gift.
Yeah. Because I often find, I understand what you're saying, just processing it. I often find there's certain people, like the people that I'm working with right now, they have the results that they have because of it wasn't really like a sell, it was people that were really ready and people that were committed and people that wanted to do this work. So that was just beautiful, just a breeze. But yeah, I do often find that I have people come to me that, they don't, we struggle to communicate. Perhaps there's a language barrier and things like that. And I just wonder why that might be happening. Your answer is very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Yakov.
Yeah, thank you, Sumit. I've learned so much in these 75 minutes. It's really incredible. You have the real gift of communicating. I don't know how, probably the experience and your state of being. I have a question about something you just mentioned about know your why. You just mentioned it briefly, know your why. And I think it's so important. And I think I don't really know my why. So in a way, I know why I'm doing it. I know I love the profession and I want to help people. On the other hand, I don't have a big overarching vision of why I'm doing it. And I think it shouldn't come I shouldn't think about it. It should come maybe naturally, and maybe it will come in the process of growing as a coach. But maybe what helped you, or could you share some thoughts on, do I need to even think about this, knowing my why and really pondering about it?
Yeah. So you said you want to help people. You like to help people. Can you share a bit more? Like, why do you like that?
This is interesting because it just makes me feel good. I suppose this is the best I can. It helps people and it makes me feel good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And how is it that you like to help people?
By coaching them, by helping them find answers within themselves.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I would say you don't have to overcomplicate it. There are two things. You know how you can help them, and you know what it does to you. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel happy. Right. And your why is again like not static. It can evolve. But again, you have everything that you need right now. So your why, the way it is for each one of you, is perfect. And the process continues. There is tremendous freedom in saying, I do this because this makes me happy. and totally owning it, leading from that place, right? These are words, but when we show up like that as a state of being, that's where the power is. Like literally what I do today, I would pay to do this. Like I love this so much. And there are cases when I have traveled, I have spent money to actually coach somebody. I don't do this for money, right? I know why I do this because I cannot not do this. That's my why, right? And then to bring commitment to a certain level and to pay my bills, I need money. So I charge money, but I don't do this work for money. I do this work for, as you said, right? This lights me up. If I am sick after coaching, I am actually like, I feel better in my body. Like physically, literally physically sick. I still can't make sense of it. Yeah. So thank you for your question. And you know enough.
Thank you, Sumit.
Yeah. Thank you. So if everybody is okay and there are no other questions, we can do a short practice before ending this. Right. And this is a practice which I call a centering practice. So the fourth truth David is asking is lead first, coach second. That was the fourth truth. Yeah. So I will share all of the truths in a post. David, don't worry. You you won't have to remember. Perfect. So let's do a practice. This is a practice which I do in every given second, especially whenever I am not feeling centered. I am not feeling my power. So we're going to take around 5 to 10 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes to do this practice right now. But we can do this. All of you can do this practice in a few seconds, right? And that's a matter of practicing it. And the practice is called centering in 4 dimensions. This is something which I learned when I was getting trained as a somatic coach. So are all of you, first of all, can you all of you get in a comfortable place? Yeah. And I invite you to, you can do this sitting, you can do this standing. And I invite you to close your eyes. Start taking a few deep breaths. Just bring your attention to your body and relax, let go of any tension you might have. So we are going to center in 4 dimensions. The first dimension is your vertical dimension. So put your feet firmly on the ground, if not already. See if you can feel the weight of your body on your feet. Make sure your body is vertically erect, not too tight, but straight. Your shoulders over your hips, your head over your shoulders. See if your backbone is totally straight. So centering in the vertical dimension while taking deep breaths, it's simply an acknowledgement that our worth, our dignity as individuals, as human beings, is fully our choice. That we are not lesser than anybody, we are not better than anybody. And that is represented when we are standing vertically, having our feet hold the weight of our body, and also with our head held high. Now, anytime we lose our vertical dimension, either we lean forward or we lean backward, we are giving away our power or exerting extra power. So anytime we use the word fear, anxiety, we are actually losing our vertical posture physically in our bodies. And you can simply take a few deep breaths, fill up your bellies, put your feet on the ground, feel the weight of your body on your legs and experience the vertical strength in your body. The vertical dimension is also an acknowledgement that the person in front of you is also equal, not lesser than, not better than, not greater than you. And just like you have complete choice, they also have complete choice and authority in their own life. So keep on taking deep breaths. And now bring your attention to your width. Now we are going to center in our horizontal dimension. So bring your attention to the left and right of your body. Open up your chest. Take a few deep breaths. Open up your chest. Open up your arms if you have to. Bring a smile to your face. Smile with your eyes. Just take some deep breaths. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, looks so beautiful. The horizontal dimension is simply an acknowledgement that we are all social beings, that to survive in this world, we need families, partnerships, teams. We cannot do it alone. And many times we close ourselves in our body. And sometimes centering in the horizontal dimension can be as simple as taking a deep breath and opening ourselves up, opening our chest up, putting a smile on our face, and just noticing the left and what is happening on our left and right. Trust, listening, empathy, all of these things that we talk about cannot be possible if we are closed physically. There is no listening, there is no trust, there is no empathy, there is no connection possible if we are not open horizontally to what is around us and who is around us. So once again, keep on taking a few deep breaths, relax your body. Get comfortable, lower down your arms if you have to. Now the fourth dimension that we will center in is the dimension of our depth. Now bring your attention. So while staying centered vertically and horizontally, bring your attention to your backbone, to your shoulders, to the back of your head. And remember everybody and everything that stands beside you, that stands behind you, everything that has brought you where you are today. Your ancestors, your parents, your siblings, your teachers, your mentors, coaches, your successes, your failures, every lesson that you have learned has brought you where you are today. And this is an acknowledgement that you are not alone. You are not weak wherever you are. And you can always count on people. You can always ask for help. There are people ready to support you, ready to stand beside you, as long as you can remember that you are not weak, you are not alone, and you can count on them. So this is the third dimension. The fourth dimension is we are going to focus. So open your eyes, all of you. Now imagine you are walking while being centered in the three dimensions, vertically, horizontally, and acknowledging your depth. And you're walking towards the horizon. The horizon represents your dreams, your goals, the future that you want to create for yourself and others. And simply imagine yourself walking towards the future in that centered state. And that is a state being centered in all four dimensions that you can always bring yourself back to in any given conversation. So that's the practice. And I will simply share that sometimes in a 60-minute call, I am practicing this like every second, every minute I am practicing this. If there is something which is making me closed, if somebody is speaking in a way, or there is a meeting that making me closed, I am deliberately like opening myself up, putting a smile on my face, focusing, I'm breathing 4-second, 5-second inhales and 5-second exhales. And that slowly builds the muscle memory of actually being centered. And many times I have to step in. Being a leader, many times it's acknowledging your back. Like even if I lose this client, it will be okay. That's acknowledging your depth. There are people standing beside me. I'm not alone. I'm not weak. If I lose all my clients today, perfect. Nothing can shake me. Right? And all of this is like a dance. It's not like one state is better. All of this is like a dance given the situation. If you have to listen, if you have to be curious, you have to do this. You cannot say, tell me what is happening. I am here to listen to you. The body doesn't support that, right? Listening has to be with an open body. So we did this in 10 minutes. We can probably do that in 5 seconds also. So maybe just one or two people to share, and then we can end this call. Anybody who has not shared yet? Fiona.
Yeah. So I just shut my eyes, but I think you said you can't do this, as in leaning forwards.
Yeah. So
and
what I said, if you want to listen, then the body should need to be open to be more conducive to listening. Like this. Yeah.
So I'm short-sighted. I've got middle-aged eyes, as in I'm short-sighted and long-sighted at the same time. So if I wear my glasses, which are multifocals, I can't really see the screen very well. I can see to read and I can see far away, but the middle distance is not so good. So I take them off to be on Zoom, which means I'm leaning forwards and I'm listening. And what I'm noticing in my coaching is that, well, I said I've just changed my guidelines. Actually, they used to say coaching, like 10 different guidelines, but one of them was coaching is not therapy. Instead of looking back, we'll be, looking forwards, kind of thing. And but I've noticed with a lot of people that it ends up becoming therapy, and so that's why I've changed my guidelines to not sort of focus on saying this is not therapy. I've just taken that away and I've made it more positive and like talking, not asking them what their challenges are, but asking them what their aspirations are. Sometimes I wonder, like, because I really like talking about childhood trauma, sometimes I wonder, like, should I be a coach or should I just go and become a therapist? That's what I love talking about. So I don't know. I'm not really sure where I'm going with it. I don't really know what the question is, but it was just a comment really that I noticed that I am often leaning towards like this.
Yeah.
And
I'll
give it a try to not do that.
Yeah. Simply be aware, right? There's nothing you cannot do, but be aware that whatever body that you're bringing is also communicating a lot, right? If that is not helpful to what you're trying to produce in the relationship, then that is a choice you might not know that you have. Or you might simply counter that by saying, I am leaning in because I have to focus. It's not because like I'm trying to impose, because that has a impact, right? Just like if you're standing on a stage and speaking the same thing, your communication is different. It's perceived differently in the listening.
Yeah,
so
I just wonder if there's a connection between me leaning forward to see and focus and them, going on a rant, kind of turning it into a venting session when I'm trying not to be that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Matthew, is it okay if you send me a message like offline? We are almost out of time, and then we'll take it there. Yeah. So thank you everybody. Thank you everybody. As I said, right, whatever happened today happened in your listening. So give yourself a pat on the back. That actually shows how powerful you are, and have fun with this. Have fun with the 35K. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.